My goodness, I've been away from this channel for far too long. Sorry folks, I have been really busy between work at the post office, busy trying to get the 2025 Arena Ball Haters Guide out for my side channel, and just living life as a new dad. So let's get back in the swing of, hopefully, things, and let's look at the 8th generation Mitsubishi Lancer. Specifically, this 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally Edition. The Mitsubishi Lancer was Mitsubishi's compact car offering. Much like Toyota's Corolla and Honda Civic, it would grow from a subcompact to a compact in the 90s. Introduced in 1973, it filled the gap between the Minica Key car and larger Galant. From 1982 to 2000-2003, depending on the market, the Lancer would become Mirage-based, and the name was used everywhere but the States for the most part. In the year 2000, a new 8th generation Lancer would be launched, and it would sit as its own independent model for the first time since the 2nd generation was phased out in 1981. In the States, this model would be introduced in 2001 as a 2002 model, and directly replacing the long-running Mirage model. I think I got it right. Even though I like Mitsubishi as a brand, the whole Diamond Star Motors partnership with Chrysler got confusing at times, and there was a lot of captive imports and rebadges and whatnot. Check out my Eagle Summit wagon review for more. Now before you get too excited while this looks the part, this is a OZ Rally Edition, which pretty much amounts to it being a fancy Evo-inspired body kit and wheels on a normal Lancer. Nothing too fancy, but keep in mind that the Evo 8 was still a year away from hitting our shores, so much like the Subaru Impreza 2.5 RS, this was the most fun you could have at the time. At least that car offered a little bit in terms of performance. This is just a regular period Lancer in a fancy hat and shoes. An actual performance stopgap model between the regular Lancers and Evo wouldn't come until 2004, it being the Rally Art and its 2.4-liter 4G69 i4 and 160 smackaroos. Even then, 23 years after this car was produced, a clean version of this car existing is still cool for a nerd like me. These cars tended to rust a lot in northern climates, and these cars were produced at the height of the Fast and the Furious and Need for Speed hype, so the youth of the day flocked to them for their boy racer appearance and available bolt-on modifications. As a result, these cars today have often led a rough life, which makes clean ones like these diamonds in the rough. Future lit with darlings. Now, this one isn't perfect. The original OZ wheels were missing at the time of filming. The owner Ryusuke had found some replacements in the time since filming of January of 2025. The windshield is cracked, one of the AutoZone hood pins no longer functions, so it's held in with zip ties, and the automatic transmission has been replaced in its lifetime. It's also missing the wing, which is the other key giveaway that this is an OZ Rally Edition. But at 227,760 miles at the time of filming, this is clean for a car that would normally see a lot of abuse during its lifetime. Under the hood, well, under the hood if we were able to see, I wasn't gonna cut open the zip tie to get that shot. Under the hood is the 2-liter dual overhead cam 4G94 i4, making a whopping 120 horsepower and 130 foot-pounds of torque. If you wanted more power from your Lancer, you would have to wait a year for the Evo 8. And if that was far too nuts for you, you would have to wait 2 years for the previously mentioned Rally Art to be introduced. Behind the 4-banger was either a 5-speed manual or a 4-speed automatic, and power was sent to the front wheels, unless you got the Evo. And most 8th generation Lancer models sold in America were sedans. But for 1 year only in 2004, a wagon known as the Sportback was introduced alongside the Rally Art, which you could also get available in Rally Art form. But due to poor sales, because America hates wagons, the Sportback only lasted for that 1 year. Fit and finish wise, the 2004 Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally Edition is fairly solid. While I did have a bad experience with the 9th generation Lancer, and honestly that car itself did have a really hard life, the 8th generation Lancer reminds me of what makes me like 90s Mitsubishi so much. These are solidly built little cars, and they're relatively reliable at that. The American offerings at the time felt like they were trying to fall apart from the factory, but the Lancer feels like a solid alternative to a Civic or a Corolla. Like, the plastic bits in the interior don't feel like they're gonna fall off despite its 23-year-old age and 227,000 miles. On the road, however, this car feels like an early 2000s Econobox. Yeah, this thing is not fun at all. Built in a time before every 4-cylinder engine was being mated to a turbo of some sort, this car is just slow in the modern sense. It's not dangerously slow, but it's just especially meh. Like, everything behind the wheel of this car is just sums up as NPC. The side skirts and missing wing and OZ wheels did help inspire some sort of emotional expectation of performance from these cars when they were new. But no, this is still an Econobox and a fancy hat, and an old one at that. The steering feels respectable and direct, and the suspension feels okay for the era, but you put your foot on the pedal and you're transported to the time of Jenkos and frosted tips. A lot of flash, not a lot of substance. Also, that 4-speed slush box really does not inspire any sort of confidence. Full-blown, early aughts, NPC Econobox. This was a car fully intended to be sold to parents of high school and college students. It was meant to get those kids from point A to point B and nothing else. The OZ Rally Edition package was really just there to make them feel a little better about being saddled with a simple and car. No, I don't hate this car. It's a perfectly adequate automobile. If anything, this thing's probably faster than my 2005 Saturn Ion. That car was slow. This is the type of car that's really not made anymore. We don't get cheap, no-frills small cars anymore. In fact, one of the last was actually built by Mitsubishi itself with the relaunched and often reviled Mirage subcompact. But guess what? That car was meant to be a simple, cheap car. The 8th generation Lancer at least looked a little less frumpy. But without the OZ Rally Edition specific wing and the wheels on it, it just looks like another Mitsubishi Lancer on the road. And honestly, it just looks like any other early aughts compact car on the road. NPC car. The 9th generation Lancer, for all its faults, really propelled the nameplate with its massively improved styling that fully ditched the compact cars should be basic transportation aesthetics, and at least that car injected a little style into the formula. The 8th generation Lancer is a picture you include into the definition of an car. It's fine, it's nothing special, and that's okay. 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally Edition. Kind of the frosted tips of early aughts compact cars. And that's okay. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you once again for watching another episode of Wookie Drives. Don't worry, folks. Hopefully I am back on a regular schedule. You will see plenty of car reviews from this channel, hopefully, bi-weekly once again. So, I'm back, guys. Huge shout out to BlueSky for offering his latest cheap compact Japanese car for me to film for this channel. If you have a car or truck you'd like to see on the show and happen to be in the Charlotte, or specifically Mooresville, North Carolina area, submit your car to wookiedrives@gmail.com. That's right, submit your car to wookiedrives@gmail.com. Don't forget to give the video a like, drop a comment with some feedback. Any sort of interaction with this video really helps small channels like mine grow in the algorithm. Share with all your Mitsubishi Lancer OZ Rally Edition friends. And finally, don't forget to hit that bell for notifications and subscribe for more Wookie Drives like these. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.
Yeah.